All right, yo, we are live. Let's see, we're supposed to have our background up, but oh, there we go.
Go.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I try to make sure I try not to have that like black background going on back there. And then I wasn't thinking like, oh, I should have designed a background just for us, but it's all good. Like just anything except black. I don't like the way that looks. Anyways, good evening, everyone. Happy day after.
That's right.
Election
That deep breath.
day. Deep breath. It has been a while. It has been a few months since we have been live here on the Walk in Power podcast because your girl had to take a break in the name of self care. Okay. Took a break, enjoyed the summer, spent some incredible time with my friends and family, and now we are jumping back in and right on time. How ironic that we are doing this podcast the day after Election Day. So we'll get into that. But anyways, as you know, I am your host, Coach Carmen B, owner and founder of Healthy Energy Actively Living. And I am joined tonight by two incredible women, Monique Clarke and Roeshana Moore-Evans. And I will allow them to introduce themselves. Roeshana, would you like to start?
Sure. So, hello, everybody. My name is Roeshana Moore-Evans, as Carmen mentioned. I am the founder and CEO of Equity Empowerment Consulting. Serving as a social impact strategist, really to help organizations, communities, and others address their societal needs by being in coalition and partnership with other people, other groups.
Well, we love that. Don't we love that, Mo? We love that. We love that.
Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Monique Clarke. I'm currently working at Fidelity Investments as a user experience designer. But my passion is in Byte, Bright Young Tech Engineers, where I teach today's technology and AI and coding and design to elementary age students here in Boston. So it's great to be here with you all.
Yes, and I see we got some incredible viewers. Viewers, don't hesitate to drop your name. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know, give us your name, give us where you're tuning in from so that we can definitely give you a shout out and thank you for being here with us this evening. I want to also mention that Monique is my best friend and we're also co-founders. We have a business together called Boss and Beauty. And so if you have not checked us out, make sure you go follow our Instagram. Mo, you should drop the Instagram handle down in the comments if you can
Sure
while I
will.
go ahead and
Sure
run my
will.
mouth. So, and then let me tell y'all, Roeshana, Monique and I met her at the same time over the summer at a mixer, and we were both immediately drawn to
Oh,
her beauty and her energy.
yes.
So we're just so excited to be connecting here tonight and having Roeshana just be a part of this conversation because I'm telling you, when I meet brilliant people, I always want to create space for that brilliance to shine. And so just being in this space and sharing this space with these two amazing women is definitely filling my heart on this very challenging day, right? So before we jump in, let's just keep it real for a second. Today's a tough day.
It
It's
is.
a tough day,
It's tough.
right? We woke up and I was telling Roeshana before we jumped on that I did not even want to turn on the TV this morning.
Yeah.
I got up, I read my Bible, I did my prayers, I did my phone was ringing. I didn't even want to answer the phone because I'm like, I don't call me about it. I don't want to hear it. I need to fill up first
Right.
before I can pour out any energy into what is happening in the world. But honestly, I wasn't surprised.
I was a little surprised,
Mm.
just a little. And I stayed up really late. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I was up late working. And I'm like, go
Did you
ahead.
go to Estelle's?
What was that?
Did you go to Estelle's?
No. I
Okay.
was like, I'm going home because I don't know what the outcome will be. And I do
Yeah.
not want to be downtown Boston. Like, what's
That was
going
mine.
on?
Yeah.
I said, I'm going home in the safety of my home in my living room. And I stayed up and I watched it for a little bit. And I said, yeah, this isn't looking too good. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a dream, you know? So I was a little bit surprised waking up and finding out like, oh, this really, like, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a woosah. We need some woosah going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all were optimistic, right? Like, we were hoping that people would understand the need for change and the brilliance that we had in Kamala, that we have in Kamala Harris, how qualified she is, overqualified to be the president in chief in this country. So, you know, like Monique, I was like, I'm not going to watch this. Actually, I bought me some champagne last night. I was like, I'm going to pop some champagne. I'm going to have me a nice charcuterie board with my husband. We're going to watch some Netflix and just chill and not watch the outcome of the election, because I didn't want that stress in my life.
Yeah.
You know, we know that these, you know, the different states, the polls close at different times. You're going to be up until like past midnight.
Right.
Yeah. But of course, I'm a human being. So I was like checking in on my phone. Actually, I took a nap. I was like, I'm going to take a nap first and then I'll get up and we can, you know, watch stuff, because I was tired yesterday. Yeah. And then I got up and I went into the living room. My husband was like watching the news. I said, hey, we were not supposed to do this. And he's like, I just couldn't help it.
Yeah.
And when what he was watching was very disappointing. We had saw something similar in 2016. No,
yeah.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know if this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to make it. And then I will say, I went right back to sleep. And I was like, you know, I was like, maybe she's going to pull through. And so I literally had a dream that she had won. I had a dream that I turned around to my husband. I was like, oh, did she win? He's like,
you was manifesting in your dream.
Yeah. I was actually manifesting it all day yesterday. Like, I was like, I'm going to wake up on Wednesday morning and we're going to have the first woman who is a woman of color as the president of the United States of America. And that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, people have been anxious for some time.
Yeah.
For many weeks about what was going to happen.
Many months.
And I couldn't allow myself to feel that anxiety, because I'm like, regardless of whether or not she wins, there's work to do.
That's right.
Absolutely.
There's work in bridging the divide in this country. And we just have work to do there.
Right. And we can't stop the fight.
That's right.
Right. And, you know, I was saying that even though she did not make it over that finish line, there was still a great victory.
Right.
Watching a woman of color run this campaign with so much joy, despite all of the obstacles that was coming against her, all of the nasty, hateful messages that was being thrown at her by her component, who, I'm not going to talk about him because he don't get no energy on here. Right. But all of the hate she received, she kept the same energy. She kept the same energy all the way through. And to make it this far as a woman of color, to me, that was victorious. Right. Because it's a reminder to us that we can really do anything.
Absolutely.
That we can really do anything, but also to the young girls who were watching this, that anything is possible. Right. And so I'm appreciative of that, of watching her journey, but also watching the woman that she was becoming along the way. Right? Because to me, that's where the true victory is in who you become. This is not the end for Kamala. Right. Like this might become a best bookseller, right? Like this might become a
journey, right?
Exactly. Like there's so many things. But then also think about the level of mentorship. She will be able to offer to other women of color who may be seeking higher positions, right? In politics or Senate or whatever we're calling it, right? But
politics.
Right, I guess. Right. But the other thing that came up for me is that Kamala being in that position got so many other women of color involved in politics that were not involved in politics prior, right? I had no interest in politics. And then Kamala started running. I was like, okay, I got to see what's happening here. So much that I even took an internship at the State House. And so it's like, those are the things that I'm looking at is who she became in the process, who she allowed us to become, and what she gave us space to do, and the mindset to do, and the inspiration to do through her journey. So I think if we can see the gift in this, we don't know what the next 4 years are going to be like, but you know what? They can't control our energy.
Absolutely.
They can't control how we show up. They can't control our fight. They can't control our motivation. They can't control our power. So at the end of the day, we're going to do what we are here to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? And it doesn't stop. There's, you know, you take a couple of hours, take a day,
take care of
feel it, take care of yourself, take that moment to feel it, and then get back up. And we keep moving because that's what we do, right?
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
And I think it's important, like you were just saying, Monique. I think it's definitely important to be okay with not being okay, right? Like we don't have to pretend like, oh well, because that's definitely not it. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel disappointed, and it's okay to say, we're coming back bigger and stronger.
Absolutely.
Right. You know, like this is not a fail by any means.
Absolutely.
This is not a fail by any means.
The focus is even greater, right?
That's right. Right.
Absolutely. And here we are.
Here we are. And I think, you know, that's a perfect segue into the discussion that we're having for this evening as we're talking about what's to come, right? Because our future is big, our future is bright, and our story does not live in what has happened in the past, right? There is so much more waiting for us. And as we are in the beginning of November, which is already moving super fast, man, this year went by fast.
Yes, it did.
Super fast. Oh my goodness.
It went by fast, but it also feels like it's been long.
Oh.
We've had so much. I mean, I'm going to brag a little bit about Boston Beauty for a second. And, you know, the top of the year, Carmen and I, we said, these are the things that we want to hit. Okay. We said that back in November, right? Because when we were doing our vision board and we were talking about these things, we said 2024 is going to be our year to really hit.
We said it's going to be our best year ever.
Oh, my goodness. And we're like, busy. As soon as the new year started, we hit the ground running, and it was like, "Where's my sis? Where you at?" We were like, "Hoo, flying, and busy, and accolades, and all the things that we were trying to hit. We were hitting those, right? And still are. I mean, that's where we are. We're still in 2020.
We're still doing it.
We're still doing it, and it's like, whoo, we're trying to take some moments out to come up for air, right? And we have some stuff to look forward to in 2025 because of it. We have more goals and more milestones to hit in 2025 based on what we did this year.
Girl, look at me, goosebumps right here, girl.
Flowing. It is flowing.
You know, now that you're even saying that, you're making me feel so good about what I chose for sharing tonight. Because, girl, I'm going to start crying on here. Lord, let me tell you something. When 2023 was ending, and we were both in a place of like, you know what? We weren't in the happiest space, but we felt a tug in our hearts that something big is going to happen, but it's only going to happen based on our belief in the actions that we take. Mm-hmm. And when 2024 hit, I don't know what ignited that fire under our asses, okay? Yeah. But the way we hit the ground running, I had just quit my job, and I was like, I'm about to do everything. I'm about to do it. First, I'm going to take a nap, though.
Yes, rest.
Oh, my goodness.
Rejuvenate.
Woo!
Yes.
I left my job last year in November. I was like, first of all, I need a long nap. And you know what I think? Yo, sis, I just got an epiphany. At the end of the year, Monique and I decided that we was going to the spa.
Yes.
For the day.
Yep.
Whole day. I mean, when I say from the,
from
their doors and hit unlock.
I mean, like it was cold, and we were like, we're just waiting for the door to open.
We were standing in the lobby like this.
We were like, we're ready. We're ready. Yes.
We walked through that door. We did not leave that spot until they was locked in the door again. But we stayed there the whole day. We journaled. We slept. We woke up. We talked. We laughed. We cold water plunged. We jacuzzi. We scrubbed. I mean, I really think that had a lot to do. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, we really took that moment to say, let's get ready.
Love that.
Like, it was really a let's get ready. Let's come here and release everything that doesn't serve us right now. When I said we detoxed that day, we left home probably like 7, 8 a.m. We got back home at 10 o'clock at night. Like,
I know, because then we went out to eat, and it was a day of us. It was like
it was a day.
Yes.
And so when we stepped into the new year, I'm about to give my words. Let me hush. But I'm telling you, everything just happened like this.
Wow.
I applied for TED Talk, did a TED Talk. I started getting all this business. I started getting all these opportunities. And it still hasn't stopped.
Beautiful.
It still hasn't stopped. And it has happened for me and my sister to the point where there was like a week or two that we didn't even talk.
Oh my goodness.
The front office was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm okay. Are you okay? You know what? We need to, because we were so busy. But that's also the beautiful thing about our friendship is that we recognize what we're doing. That's we don't crowd each other. We don't get upset. Like, I'm like, I know my sister's busy. My sister know I'm busy. But we know when we need to check in. We know when we need to make sister time. But we give each other our space to grow. And then we come back together, we jubilate, we connect, and do what we got to do. So that's what I love about our friendship. Like, I couldn't imagine doing life with anybody more than I'm doing it with my sister. So I'm just entirely grateful for that. But I'm also entirely grateful for welcoming Roeshana into
Roeshana.
Because listen, one thing I prayed for, okay, y'all, I just want y'all to know sometimes I get on my podcast and I be going and y'all don't be afraid to just jump because I love y'all and I'm saying I prayed for this, right? Like I prayed, I said, God, please connect me with the right people, with the people that you need me to be around, that I need to be around, that need me to be around them, so that we can share in one another, not so that they can help me grow, but so that we can pour into one another and grow together. And I pray that prayer so much, and God just keeps bringing them. He just keeps bringing in amazing people into my life. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. So
I'll say one thing.
Yeah, you gonna say two.
I'll say a couple. I feel extremely.
Ladies, sorry.
I feel extremely blessed to be part of your sister circle. Okay, your energy is contagious.
Oh, thank you.
We all can feel it when we're in your presence, and the fact that you love your sisters, and you show that love in a very authentic and genuine way. And Monique is the same way.
Yes.
And I'm honored to just be part of this and to be in community with you all and to pour into each other, because I think too often we don't get a chance to do that with us, especially us as Black women. How do we support one another?
Absolutely.
We're all going through similar things in life.
Yeah.
What does it look like to go that journey with your sister rather than going it alone?
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why we also are building up Boston Beauty, why we established Boston Beauty, to bring like-minded women together so that we don't feel like you're doing this all alone. While while Heal is not geared towards entrepreneurs, Boston Beauty is. And entrepreneurship can feel very lonely, right? And so that is one of the main reasons why we wanted to establish that network, is because we know how important it is to feel like I'm not by myself. Even if, because what me and Monique are doing are two totally different things. Right?
Completely different things. Yeah.
However, we can come together and talk about what's happening in our business. I can give her ideas. She can be like, oh, sis, you should consider this. Because at the end of the day, we're all still women, right? And most of us are serving people who we can relate to. So we still have so much to share and offer one another. And that's why it's so important to know that you don't have to do this alone, right? Like, you don't. So we talked about all the things that has been manifested in this year. And tonight we are talking about how we were able to do that, first and foremost. And we can't just talk about 2024 because there's so much, but just talking about our life overall, how we have been able to use certain strategies to manifest the women that we are today. What are the things that we have really honed in on and cherished that has helped us time and time and time again to really manifest those big visions, right? Because when you are blessed with a vision, it can be scary.
Yeah.
And isolating, right?
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a word.
Oh, it can be so scary because it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? Who's going to pay for it, or who's going to help me, or who's going to support me, or who's going to encourage me, who's going to mentor me, right? There's so many different visions. So when we think about our visions, sometimes that vision can be, I want to improve my health. But if I've been unhealthy for so long, I don't know where to start. I'm afraid to make a shift. Sometimes that vision can be, I want a healthy relationship, but I've never had a healthy relationship. I don't know where to start. I want to level up my career. I want to go from being an associate to being a leader. Or I might want to go from a leader to being an entrepreneur. There are so many visions that we are blessed with on a daily basis. But the reality is, if you don't know, you don't know. And so feeling that fear is okay. It's a natural part of the process, but you get to decide the role fear plays in your life. Is fear going to keep you stuck, or will the fear of staying the same move you forward? Right? And so as we have this discussion, we're just going to start off by, first, ladies, I would love you to, maybe if you want to focus on a particular vision, or just really think about the visions that have been maybe the scariest for you, right? And then maybe you can begin thinking about sharing your steps, right? And so, how do you all want to do this? You want to share one step each and then just go around and share? Because we each have two.
Yes.
Okay,
So
we each have two. So maybe you want to share one, and we could just go like that. We'll bounce it around.
yes. So I mean, we can kind of flow and see how this thing goes. I would say the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about a vision and being fearful, that is a real feeling, and it doesn't necessarily go away. You're just still working through the fear, right? And I would say that's one of the things that made it very challenging for me to move forward in my job, move forward and the growth and the journey, and asking and demanding the things that I know I deserve, right? And also stepping out into my own business as well. Just so fearful, and in some ways, like, it's not even fear that it won't do well, but it's fear that it will.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fear that, this thing may take off, and the greatness that's in me will actually manifest, and oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's a real feeling, right? And so for me, I think one of the things that has helped me is perspective. Perspective and connecting with people who are in positions that I aspire to be in, or those who are in areas where I'm like, wow, you're really doing it, right? And looking for that mentorship and saying, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm actually pretty scared. And I know what I want, and I know what I deserve, but man, I'm afraid of my own greatness, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And so looking for that mentor to help get me out of that and on to the next step. So we can talk more about mentorship later.
So before we move on, because okay, first of all, for all of our viewers, thank you for being here. Definitely drop your
Yeah.
name. Hey Regina, hey Sheba girl, I see you Sheba. What's up, sister?
Hey girl,
Hey,
hey.
Bella.
Yes, if
Hey,
you all are thinking about what your 2025 vision is, drop it.
Yeah.
Drop it in the chat. Let us see what your one of your biggest goals for 2025. Drop it, because this is the time to begin the manifestation. And sometimes the manifestation is just putting it out there. So
Hey.
drop it in the comments. Let us see. Let us put it up on the screen so the world can see what
yes.
you are manifesting in 2025. Hey girl, right? And so speaking on mentorship, first of all, let me say, because sometimes my girls don't like this about me, but when I don't feel like they shining, they like the way it should be shining, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the light bulb, okay? I'm like, tap, tap, right? So, in regards to mentorship, sis, I know recently you've been talking about, like, listen, I have outgrown my position at
Mm.
Fidelity. However, the conversation has not necessarily been, I'm leaving for Fidelity, but how can I expand the woman I've become at Fidelity? And one of the great things, the conversations you've been having with me, is just having the courage to reach out to a mentor and say, this is what I'm going through, this is what I want. So can you just talk a little bit about the steps of just taking that step to reach out to ask for mentorship? Because we always talk about mentorship, but sometimes people don't even know where to start with getting a mentor, or even identifying a mentor that's already in your life and waiting for you to just ask, hey, can you help me? Can you talk
And
about
that's
that?
and that's the key right there, being vigilant and seeing who's around me and tapping into that. I would say for me, I had some good allies. It's and I said I got some allies here in this structure that we're working in. Every day we engage each other, and I know they're my allies.
Right.
Let me utilize that and start there. And so I started with talking to one of my project managers, right? Who's like, oh, who I have to deal with every single day over the projects that I'm doing, who I have to constantly touch base with, who's my cheerleader, right? And I said, I really want to grow in these areas. I don't really know what. And she's like, listen, we can sit down and work on development plans. We can sit down, because she's already thinking like that, right? And I was like, oh, it'd be great because I need to get this stuff out of my head. And so when I would sit down with her, she's like, listen, every person that you meet, ask them to introduce you to 2 more, 3 more, 4 more people, and on and on and on. And she said, I'm going to introduce you to 3 more people who are in positions that you aspire to be in, who are used to mentoring as well, who are Black women. Now this, my project manager, I have to say, she's a white woman and she's very much a feminist. So she's all about empowerment of women. So she said, listen, let me connect you with these people. And it was really like, wow, okay, I've been given this plate. What am I going to do with it? I can't just sit here. I already said it out loud. Now I have to do something about it. And then that was the step for me to connect with the next person and the next person and to find my mentors.
Yes.
Yeah, and your mentors don't always look like you.
That's right.
Your mentors don't always have to look like you. I know as women, especially as Black women, we're like, sister girl, we here, right?
Yes.
This is your girl. But your mentors don't always have to look like you, and that is okay. Okay,
That's
you
right.
don't always have to have a mentor who is in your field as well.
Right.
So, so for me, I was like, oh, let me expand this and see what this looks like, and really learning what a sponsor looks like, what an ally looks like, right? What does companionship looks like? So I'm like, oh, okay, who can I identify and go from there? And those people are right in your life, right?
Yeah.
Just like what Carmen said, people are right around you. Start
Yeah.
tapping into that.
I think that is the perfect segue for Roeshana to
Mm-hmm.
share one of hers, which I think is really aligns with what you're talking about in regards to people.
Right. So I want to go back to a couple of things that Monique's shared. So I left a somewhat high profile job in July. This was the first time I had ever left a job without having a job, right?
Yes, girl.
But I knew, so I'm not a person who does well with fear. Like either I'm staying or I'm going.
Yeah.
If I'm going to work through it or I'm not. And I really can't think about what's on the other. I have faith that God is going to provide.
Absolutely.
God had given me a vision and he put me in that position that I was in for a reason. It really opened up my eyes to my purpose, right? Yeah. And when I left, I actually did feel a little bit of uncertainty for like a second.
Yeah.
And then I think I told you, Carmen, like once I made the decision, it was like the skies opened up and the Holy Spirit just took over my body. It was like, girl, it's time to leave.
That's it. That's how it go, girl.
And I left and I haven't looked back, right? Like I took the summer to travel and to rejuvenate. Like I was at my husband and I, we had went away on vacation for our anniversary. I was doing yoga every day during the vacation. I was in the spa. I was going swimming. I was going scuba diving. Like I was just enjoying my life and getting that restoration that I needed to really enter into that next phase, the next stage.
Because Black girls deserve rest.
Because rest is, I put it in on LinkedIn today. Like rest is an act of resistance.
Period.
Right? We are, my girl, she has a podcast called Work Can't Save Us. And y'all need to go look at that. Shantae Thurman.
Check that out.
Because we can't all we are wired to always be in a space of working. We have to be working in order to feel effective. We have to be working in order to feel like we're doing something.
To feel like we're enough.
And to feel like we're enough. And this past summer, I was like, I don't need to work. I need to rest.
Yes.
My body has been through a lot. And I need to get prepared for this next chapter in my life.
That's right.
And going back to this, the mentorship, that's really important. I'm always looking to learn from different people. I would say one of the best mentors that I had was actually a white male. And it's so funny because he had said to me, he said, he was in a higher position, not even in like you said, not even the field that I was in, but we had a connection around a certain project that we were working on together. And he said to me, he's like, I want to be your mentor. And I said, well, what do you know about mentoring a Black woman? I said that to him. What do you know about mentoring a Black woman? He said, I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to mentor you. And he has been, I can call him up to this day. And we talk about many different things, especially as I branched out on my own, because he's actually doing the same thing. Well, he's now as a principal, as part of a consulting agency, a consulting business. But he's been extremely helpful for me. And so when you're thinking about your mentor, you're also thinking about like your board of directors. I was just talking to a young person yesterday. We all need to have a board of directors. That may include a mentor, a sponsor, an ally, peers, colleagues, a group of people who are rooting for your success.
Yes.
Having that network is really important. And I think Juliet Mayers, who's one of my mentors, she talks about that a lot, about having that board of directors, those people who are going to be either there to give you advice, to coach you through situations, to speak your name in places where you may not be, who's going to stick up for you when they're hearing dis or misinformation about your character. So just having those spaces. And then Monique, I'm just going to repeat some of the things that you said, and not being afraid to get to know other people. Right? Like putting yourself out there. I think we all kind of experienced that when we all volunteered for the BECMA event.
Yeah, absolutely.
I met so many wonderful women.
Yes.
Right? And so many women who were looking for some sort of connection.
Yes.
Right? I think we need that. And so expanding your network, knowing that you cannot accomplish anything alone. The African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
And so we as a people need to figure out, as women, especially as Black women, who always try to carry so much on our shoulders alone, we need to figure out how to lean on our networks in order to help manifest the vision that we want to have.
Yes.
So as I'm going into 2025 as a new business owner and doing the work that really fills my cup. So the work that I'm doing is working with different organizations, be it community organizations, corporations, hospitality leaders, to figure out how can you align your organization's goals with the needs of in the society.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
to do good work, right?
Yes,
How
yes,
we
yes,
build
yes.
a coalition of people who want to do the work, but don't know
Yes.
how to, don't have the bandwidth to do that. And you have to be connected. People have to know who you are.
Yep.
They have to trust you, build up trust. And we're going to talk about the values piece in a few seconds. But that all will aid or help in the manifestation of your vision for this coming year. And as you all said too, going back to what you all did last year in 2023, you started before 2024.
Absolutely.
Right? We got to start manifesting your
Not
vision
today.
now, right?
Yes.
Today. If you haven't already started, it starts today.
Yes.
It's your vision board. My girl sent me a YouTube link to do like a digital vision board. So I'm working on that, using some scriptures, using some mantras, some pictures. Like I want to travel next year. I want to travel for work. I want to travel for enjoyment. Like start to actually put those things into a space, into a place where you can see it and view it at all times. But I'm going to stop it.
Absolutely. I love all of that. I want to bring up one of our viewers who said, Regina, in 2025, I'm taking my conference on the road and will host one outside of Boston. Yes, honey. Manifest that. Yes. We pour love. Let's pour love all over that. Pour love.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, honey. Dripping love.
Yes,
all over
Regina.
that. I pray, sister, that you will make that.
Yeah.
I've watched your conference get bigger and bigger, so there's no doubt in my mind, my sister, that you will make that happen. Thank you both. I think, I love that you brought up that African proverb, and there was another saying that I heard once that really struck me, and I don't remember what book I was reading. I'm an avid reader. I read so much. But the book I was reading, it said, if whatever your vision is, if you can do it on your own, you're not dreaming big enough.
Yes.
Right? A big vision requires a village. It requires, it should be either employing people or seeking counsel from other people, whatever it is, it should include many others, right?
Yes.
And really thinking about what that looks like for you, right? Because trying to wear all the hats is the fastest way to burnout.
That's right.
And not just burnout in your body, but burnout in the passion. You lose the joy and you lose the passion for doing the work when you try to do on your own, right? And so I think that is really, really important to point out. And so thank you, Monique and Roeshana, for talking about the importance of mentorship, allies, right? Sponsors, and building your network. All of that, people. We need people, right? I will say one thing I want to share when I look back at what 2024 has done. One of my strategies is reflection, right? Really thinking about what has worked. Right? Because sometimes we want to bring a vision to life and we just hit the ground running on autopilot, not thinking to reflect about the times when we have won, but also when we may have failed.
That's
right? What are the things that contributed to that failure? Could it have been you tried to do it on your own? Right? What are the things that contributed to that? Could it be that you didn't have the right skills, the right tools, right? Whatever it was. But then also, what are the things that contributed to the times that you were winning?
Right.
And when I look back over this year and I think about all the areas I have won, I can think, okay, I definitely pulled people in and asked for help. I got coaching. I paid for coaching, right? I went out. If there was a skill I needed to learn, I went ahead and learned it. If there was a book I needed to read, I dove in. If I needed to rest, I rested, right? Because we reflect and we think about all the things we did. Did you take care of yourself?
Right.
And what I noticed is the more I take care of myself, the more energy I had to go after the thing. Right? Because what is the point of going after the thing tired? And then once you go after or get or achieve the thing, you're too tired to even feel good about it.
Hey, yes.
Right? You're too tired to even enjoy it. And so take some time, and I hope you all have your notepads out, all of you who are watching, who are tuning in. Remember, we talked about mentorship, allies, sponsors. We talked about networking and having a board of directors, people who support you, who are there to guide you, people who are there to discipline you and say, you know better. Right? Because we don't just want yes people around us.
Right.
No, right.
We want people around us who are going to tell us, nah,
Absolutely.
that ain't it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Me and my sister tell me about
Oh yeah.
no. That's
That
not
ain't
what we
it,
do.
child.
Right?
That's not it.
That's not it, right?
Mhm.
But then also reflecting on what has gone really well for you. So when I think about the success of my TED Talk and all the time that I poured into that TED Talk, but the amount of people that rallied around me to make that TED Talk a success. And guess what? I am one of those people who have struggled to ask for help. But when it was time to do this TED Talk, I knew I needed help.
Yeah.
So I had TED Talk listening parties at my house.
Yeah.
And my girlfriends came over and I had cheese and wine and crackers. And they sat on my couch and they listened to me do that talk over and over again. I had watch parties on Zoom and my girl showed up. And it was hard for me at first to ask for that help. Because I was like, man, ain't nobody going. And then I had to tell myself, don't you do it. Right? You be having to have that talk with yourself. Don't you let those negative thoughts come in and steal your glory and your grace, right? And so the more I asked for help, the more I recognized what I needed to not only add to me, but also what I needed to leverage within me, right? Reflecting on what I already have, because sometimes we have a vision and we think, okay, I need to get this, I need to learn this. What about what you already have?
That's
Starting there.
Right? Because I believe that if you was blessed with a vision, you was also blessed with the tools to get started right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Right? And so when you look back and just reflect, write it down. What has gone well? Right? And every time I did extremely well, every time I won or had a great achievement, what did I do? Or the times where I didn't get the results I wanted, what was standing in my way? And usually it's you. Right? Usually it's you standing in your way. Right? And so what does that look like? And write that down so that you can leverage all of that as you prepare for manifesting your 2025 vision. All right. So that was my one. Monique, do you have another? Because I know you were still thinking about it. That's okay. That's okay. Because what time is it? It's 7:45. We got 15 more minutes. I know Roeshana has another one, so we can bounce it right to you.
Yeah, I'll probably build off of Roeshana. Go right ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Monique. One thing that's always led and guided me in my positions and specifically in the work that I'm going to be doing, within my own business is staying authentic to my core values. I am extremely values driven. As I was growing up, my father made sure that there were certain values that I lived by, and I have stood very strong in my convictions. And so as you're thinking about your vision, ensuring that all the things that you're doing, you're not compromising your values. You're staying authentic to yourself. So when those opportunities do come, it doesn't feel like it's forced, right? You are authentically walking through it. And also authenticity attracts the right opportunities and keeps you grounded, especially when there are challenging times. Right? I think we can all say that we have been in positions, either work positions or relationships, where there have been some challenges. And you had to decide whether or not you're going to sit in that and crumble,
Yeah.
right? Or if you were going to walk away because your values and your integrity was being challenged.
That's right.
So that's a little, I mean, it could seem a little dark to people, but I think it's just very important just to stay true. Know what your values are and stay true to your values.
That's right.
As you're manifesting your vision.
And what I want to say is your values, your authenticity has to be challenged. It has to be challenged, because without that challenge, you won't know what you truly stand for. You won't know where your power truly lies. And so when you feel like it's being challenged, that's your opportunity to rise, right? That's your opportunity to say, this is who I am.
That's right.
This is what I stand for. However, if you find yourself shrinking when your values and your identity is challenged, that's also an opportunity to assess why. Why am I shrinking? What does this mean? Do I need to go back to the drawing board to identify what my values are? And to identify whether or not I'm in alignment. When I went to church on Sunday and the pastor said something that had me like, that's right. And he said, sometimes when you're always feeling like you're down and out, like life is always against you, like nothing is ever going your way, you may be saying, oh, I just got bad luck. I just got bad luck. And some people like to say, that's the devil against me. What it really is, often is, you are out of alignment. You are out of alignment with your values. You are out of alignment with your true self. And some people don't know whether or not they're in or out of alignment with their values because they don't even know what their values are.
So if you start right there, right?
Okay.
Start right there in identifying what your values are.
That's it. And if you're struggling to figure that out, I'm your coach, because that's what I do, baby.
There you go.
Okay? If you are struggling to figure out what my core, because let me tell you something, there's hundreds of values and they can't all be yours. So if you are struggling to identify what are my core values, go ahead and book that clarity call, baby. Go ahead and book that call so I can get you right? Go ahead, Monique. I know you wanted to say something.
I was going to bounce off what Roeshana was saying around authenticity, but then also the story that we tell ourselves, right? And so I know, and this is me being like completely authentic and transparent with you guys, is what's the story that I tell myself? Oh, I'm not able to do that. I'm not capable. I don't have the time to do this. Or can I really do that? And it's eating away at your abilities, right? And your confidence. And you're doing it to yourself, right? One of the things that someone that is a new person at my job, and she has this new role. And one of the things she said to me, she pulled me to the side and she said, you know what? I really enjoy engaging with you because you bring a sense of humanity on the floor. On the floor.
Wow.
You know, there's a floor where we all are there to work together. We collaborate on products and projects and things like that. And she said, every time you come around, you bring a sense of humanity. You remind us of who we are as humans, that we're people first.
Yes.
And we want to be in community with one another. I said, wow, that is powerful, because I never thought that of myself. And the story that I always tell myself is, I'm just so out of place here. I don't even want to be here in this space with these people. I'm just going to move on and just be out of everyone's way. And it's like, no, actually, like, people look forward to seeing you, look forward to hearing you, look forward to engaging you. So it's what's the story that I'm telling myself? What's the story you're telling yourself, right? And so hearing that was like, oh my gosh, I never heard that before. And I never heard it in that way. And so it definitely spoke to me in a way like, oh, I can be authentic. I don't have to hide this part of me because I'm in this corporate structure. I don't have to come into this space and say, well, this is business and this is this and that. I don't have to do that. I can be how's John, how such and such. I know your father passed recently. I can buy you a card and a rose. To me, that's a value of humanity. Okay. It's tapping
Absolutely.
into like, it's not about work. We're all different in this space, but what matters
right.
to me is who you are as a person and how do we connect as people.
We
You
all
know,
have
and
feelings.
that's the core
Yes.
of who I am. Yeah.
Yes.
There you
We
go.
all have feelings and we all bleed red.
Absolutely.
That's what it
And
is. I
you
love
often are told you can't show this side in
Mhm.
certain environments. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is actually the core of who I am.
That's
And I
right.
can't hide that. And to hear someone say, you know what, you bring this humanity here, it was confirming to me. It was
Right.
affirming for me.
Right.
So yeah.
I love that you said that. And when we think about the other side, which is a conversation you and I had maybe even last week, right? Like that this is naturally who we are as women.
Yeah.
Like I just love life. I love
Yeah.
life and I love people. So when I get
Yeah.
an opportunity to be around people, some people might be like, oh, she's too much. And that's okay. You should
Yeah.
go over there. Right. But then I also have times where I'm like, don't talk to me. You know, I have times where I'm like, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to people. And being human enough to be able to say, today's not the day. Right.
Yes.
And because in authenticity, sometimes you feel as, but because we have these personalities, there's an expectation of us to always show up like that.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
And so
Mhm.
the day that I don't have that to give, I deserve grace for saying, today is not that type of day for me.
Yeah.
Right? And so always staying true to yourself and giving yourself what you need in every moment and being okay with that. Being okay with saying, this is what I need today. What
Mhm.
I needed yesterday does not match what I needed today. And that's keeping
Absolutely.
it real, right? That our needs change. And
Mhm.
staying true to yourself is how you're able to meet your needs.
Mhm.
Right? I will say the last point that I'm going to make is having clarity.
Mm.
Having clarity. There is nothing worse than trying to look through dense fog.
Mhm.
Trying to look through dense fog and trying to take action through dense fog. As you are manifesting a vision, you have to be very clear about what it is you want. What is your desired outcome, right? Not just the thing. What is your desired outcome? If you say, next year, my goal is to be healthier, that's great. What does that mean? What is your desired outcome? Do you want to feel better, well rested? Are you trying to improve your mental health? Are you trying to lose 20 pounds? Are you trying to build confidence? What does getting healthier look like for you? What
Right.
does that mean for you? If you're saying, I want to make more money, how much money do you want? Right? And so you have to be very clear so that you know what you're working towards, so that you can write your goals based on that outcome. Too often we have these visions that are not clear. I want to start a business. Oh, great. What kind? I'm not
I'm
sure.
not sure. Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, next year is going to be the best year of my life. Oh, yeah. And what way? I don't know yet. Come on now, right? And so without
Right.
that clarity, you will find yourself stuck and just going in circles, right? Going in circles as you're trying to manifest something, but you're not sure what it is. You
Mhm.
have to get clear on
Right.
that vision. And getting clear on your vision starts with getting clear on your values.
Hey, that's what's
It's
up.
hard to be clear on a vision without clarity on your values. And I can
Value.
tell
Yeah.
you, for the majority of my clients, once I begin with them, the first thing we do is clarity. That's the first pillar in my coaching is clarity. Or once I peel that eyelid back, you hit the ground
Yeah.
running, like, oh my God, oh my God. You know the song, I can see clearly
Yeah.
now the sky
Yeah.
or something. I don't know all the words,
The
but
rain
I
is
know
The
what
rain is
I know,
gone.
right?
I can see all the obstacles in my way. I
Right.
gotta sing it, but you know.
Come
Yeah.
on. Right? That's the theme song right there. I can
Yeah.
see it, right? And so it's hard to manifest a vision that you're not clear about.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
It's hard to manifest anything when you're not clear about who you are. when you're not clear about what your purpose is, when you're not clear about what you're passionate about. So often we go through life climbing the ladder in the wrong direction due to a lack of clarity.
Yeah.
And so, with everything that you heard here this evening from these geniuses, okay? Everything you heard from these genius women, start with clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Get clear on who you are, what you represent, what are your values. Get clear on your passion. What is that thing you will do? My thing was, what would you do for absolutely nothing and feel full about it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
feel full in it. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was definitely coaching women to that next level of who they desire to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I just want to encourage you all who have tuned in, who will be tuning in, that beginning the manifesting of your 2025 vision starts now. Do
Now.
not
Yes.
wait.
Yes.
Do not wait until December 31st.
Right.
Yes. And don't wait for a vision board party, child.
Don't wait for the, I
Right.
mean,
Happen now.
they are fun though. They are
Yes.
they are a good time, those vision board parties.
They are. But you can do that
You
now.
can, you can begin writing that vision now.
Absolutely.
Right? Roeshana was talking earlier about doing a
A digital vision
a
board.
digital vision board. Even if you want to start there, even if you have a vision board party that's coming up, don't wait until then. Start now.
Start
That way, when
now.
you get to that vision board party, baby, you are clear.
Yeah.
You have clarity.
Yeah.
Right? Everything you want, you deserve.
Love that.
Everything you're dreaming about is because God said you can have it. Trust me, none of the visions we receive, and sisters back me up, none of the visions we receive was by happenstance.
Right.
It didn't just, oh, okay, yeah, she's just going to do that. Right? I always say when I started out in my career, I thought I was just supposed to be a director doing these things, but I also realized that everything I have experienced has led right up to where I am.
That's right. It was all by design.
Everything. And I thought that I wasted so much time, but what I realized is that everything was right on time.
That's right.
So I'll tell you that this podcast was right on time for you. So my closing remark to you is, do it now, sister. Now is the time. Any closing remarks, my ladies?
Go ahead, Monique.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to wrap, but I would say sometimes it is challenging to find out what it is you want, what's your vision, what is it that you want to manifest. And I know for me, I had to go back into the vault of who am I and looking at my history. Where did I start? When did I really feel full? You know, tapping into the moment, like Carmen said, tap into the moments when you're like, when did I really feel full? And really writing that stuff out. And I'm able to see a timeline of my journey, and I see where the thread is, and that really helped me with clarity and vision. So I would encourage you, if you are struggling around your vision and you're like, I don't really know where to start just writing down, like, where do I feel like where I began in this journey for myself? When was it? Was it 10 years, 15 years ago? You know, and start jotting down those milestones that were meaningful to you and find that thread.
That's right.
That's my closing remark.
Yeah, I like
you
that.
Got it.
We're wrapping up, y'all. We wrapping up, but I like that. And, you know, like Monique is saying, is write down what you're doing when you are happiest.
Yeah.
What you're doing when you feel the most fulfilled.
Yes.
Throughout your life, maybe looking back, like she said, in the past 10 years, what are the things that you were doing when you felt the most fulfilled? I love that.
Yeah, I'm just going to add on to that. And Monique, I really appreciated you talking about the authenticity piece, because the first thing that you got to know before you start to manifest the vision is, who are you?
That's right.
Like, I think about the Lion King, when Simba was chasing Rafiki through the jungle.
Yes.
And he's like, who am I? I'm looking for my father. And he showed Simba a reflection of himself.
That's right.
Who are you?
That's right.
And being okay with who you are.
That's right.
Right? Like the way that you are going to figure out what your vision is by understanding who you are.
That's right.
Yes.
That's how you can understand your values as well, by understanding who you are. So start with self, that introspection.
That's right.
And that's all that I'll add there.
Thank you, Roeshana.
I want to thank you ladies again for just agreeing to be here and spend that hour with me.
I can spend 2 hours with you, girl, both of y'all. I'm like,
great. We can do this again, honey.
I appreciate y'all so much. This was so much fun. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. In the show notes, you will find links to both Roeshana and Monique's LinkedIn profiles if you want to connect with them. So please make sure you go on, follow them, hit them up, shoot them a message saying, hey, girl, I saw you on the podcast. Until next time, listen, make sure you subscribe. If you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, and tell all your people about the Walk in Power podcast. Until next time, my loves, walk in power.